now we have a code for twins. This question came in, and you know what? This one really I struggled with, and I had to actually talk to one of our other instructors, JoAnne, and get her opinion on this because, you know, I wasn't sure I was reading into the question correctly. And I've done that before where I have read the question, done a slide, done all this research, and then when you put it up and then maybe somebody else sees it or Laureen sees it and they say, I don't think that's exactly what they were asking. I was off here on a tangent. So anyway, we have a situation with twins. A premature twin was transferred to the nursery after delivery. Her mate was stillborn. 8 weeks after delivery, the baby was discharged from the hospital with a weight of 5 pounds. The principal diagnosis code is, and this would be the discharge code is what we determined. So that's what we went with. The principal diagnosis code at discharge. All right, a premature twin, like I said, is born. So how are we going to code that? Several things to think about when you're doing this type of coding for babies is, one, don't get the baby's chart mixed up with the mama's chart. Once the baby's delivered, it has its own chart, okay? And this was actually a question I think that our person found someplace because she had choices. And you know, usually we don't like to go in and answer questions without knowing where they come from because we don't want to do one that is maybe a test question that somebody had. But this one I suspected maybe that they got it out of a book or something. I don't know. So what's the principal diagnosis? This is the choices that they gave. 765.0, 769, V21.30, and V32.00. 765.0 is extreme immaturity. It needs a fifth digit, so if I were to look this up, I would throw it out automatically because it doesn't have a fifth digit. Maybe that whoever got this got it from an older text and the fifth digit wasn't needed at the time, but needless to say, this usually implies birth weight of less than 1,000 grams, and I'll explain grams in a little bit. I can't convert grams, but you know what? The internet can for me, so I did do some little research, and this is very small. Extreme immaturity. Respiratory distress syndrome, 769. V21.30, low birth weight status unspecified. And V32.00, twin, mate stillborn, born in hospital, delivered without mention of cesarean delivery. Now, I could have asked you guys, oh, what do you think? But actually, these were all quite a mess. And A is out because, again, it doesn't have the fifth digit, and 1,000 grams is less than 2.2 pounds. And we know that our baby, we didn't have a size at birth, but we know the baby is 5 pounds now. So that one's out the window. B is out because our baby does not have respiratory syndrome at discharge. So that's out. C is out because we do have a specified weight at discharge, 5 pounds, and this is an unspecified code. D is out because this is a diagnosis at delivery for the baby, not at discharge. Okay, so what do we do? So see the little picture of the little preemie and had a little purple hat on. That's why I picked that picture. Well, I decided, with JoAnne's help, that the best answer was actually not one that was given, but it was close. And for a discharge, it would be V21.35, low birth weight status, which was 4.41 pounds to 5.5 pounds. And in your manuals, it does it in grams. So you have to actually convert it yourself. If you what you can do, which I was going to do with my manual and didn't get a chance to do it yet, is actually take this this code V21.35 and write the pounds off next to the grams so that I wouldn't have to think about it. Actually, most hospitals work in grams now. They use the metric system instead of the system that we in America, the only ones in the world that I know of that don't use the metric system. But even when they check your temperature, they don't do it in Fahrenheit anymore. They write down the Celsius. So your documentation, and most of the documentation I've ever seen when dealing with this, it's done in grams. So if you need it though, and this is a great little website, theunitconverter.com/unit hyphen conversion hyphen tables.html is where I was able to go in and convert, and it's got all kinds of things. You can, the whole metric system and every value, and then you can convert it back and forth. So I bookmarked that. Okay.
Get more CPC exam tips, coding certification training, and CEU credits. Go to www.codingcertification.org.